All right. So talking about breakdown of responsibility, first we have the service organization. Okay. Define your system. Service organization, UST, a company, wanting um to maybe get SOC 2 reports, right? We want to get satisfied. Maybe we are a software development company, we want to offer services to other organizations. So for us to do that, for organizations to trust us, we for a system, not just us as an organization, then we want to get the report, right? And that's why for us to do so, first we also want to define our system. Remember, if you guys have been following us, when we went through the RMF life course, life cycle, one of our main key projects, and that's where you start with managing risks. Once you identify your information type, organization definitely have a data classification policy. Then you have to come up with a system description, right? Because your system description make you understand what system is it, what kind of system is it, what kind of data will be handling, where you also identify your information types. And that's why it says that what services you provide, infrastructure use, data handle. And then talk of design internal controls, also align with trust service criteria, the concept of security, availability, confidentiality, privacy, and so on. And then you also need to ensure that they have a system description, assess that your controls are in place and effective as of a specific date. So before we want to invite these guys, really know, okay, this is what we have, we've checked and everything. Then when we are inviting the independent auditors, again, they must be certified by AICPA, American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. So what are they going to do, right? They will review your system description, your management assertion, and your controls. These are things that we're going to discuss in depth, okay? They will also evaluate whether the controls are suitably designed to meet the criteria on the specific date. And what are they going to do? They will issue the SOC 2 Type 1 report, which include their opinion. Remember, at this point, we know we want to get this report, so they cannot just come and issue a SOC 2 report. SOC 2 report takes time, okay? And we're going to see that shortly, okay? But this is just to give us like an overview of what we will be doing, who is doing what, and just for us to define the different rules and responsibility. But the question for you is, why would an organization do a SOC 2 type 1 if type 2 is more comprehensive? Why would they go in for SOC 2 type 1 report? Even though SOC 2 type 1 report is more comprehensive, SOC 2 type even though SOC 2 type 2 is more comprehensive, SOC 2 type 1 still serve a valuable purpose, especially for new or growing organization. You can't just jump and say, you know what, I just want to go to SOC 2 without even understanding if I even have the baseline controls, right? If I even even just like adhere to the five trust service criteria, right? And that's why at times it's advisable to go through the SOC 2 type 1 to understand, okay, I have everything in place, then I can go for a more comprehensive assessment. Okay. But top reason to start with a SOC 2 type 1, first, you are just getting started. You can be a startup company for that information system. So a type 1 report proof your controls are in place and designed properly, even if they haven't been running for 6 months yet, is your first validation checkpoint. Okay. Investor, customer, or partner requests. Some stakeholders can or might request immediate proof of controls before signing contracts. So a type 1 is faster to obtain than a type 2. Let's just say we just have that new system. We're trying, we just launch and everything, but we've not had it for like close to 6 months or 1 year. Where the SOC 2 is, it covers a period of time, right? Continuously to make sure that that control is being effective. But still, some company might be willing to go with us. And for them to be able to sign that contract, that's when they might be out. If you have a type 1 report, because the type 1 report will tell you that, what, at least, though it's for a specific or point of time or point in time, but still that is better than not even having anything. Okay. And don't be surprised that you have organizations that you are working with and some of your vendors, they don't have SOC 2 Type 2. They've never heard of this at all. You find yourself explaining and educating them, right? This next one, faster turnaround. Type 1 can be completed in weeks, while Type 2 require at least 3 months of operational history. Do you see? Operational history. That makes sense. SOC 2 readiness assessment. It acts like a dress rehearsal for Type 2. You see? So acts as a dress rehearsal, that's Type 1 for Type 2. You identify any gaps before going through the longer observation period. It's just like, so I tell you people, it doesn't matter what you do, yeah? It's pretty much the same. When you go to high trust, you start hearing of I1, E1, and R2, right? So E1 is a fundamental, like again, just for a startup, understanding the control structure, go to R1, and then from there you go, to I1, then from there you can go to I2. R2. So likewise, organizations, and that's why I say it acts like a dress rehearsal. You are rehearsing, you are prepping that system. You want to check, do we have any gaps before we could invite the auditors to come and perform an SOC 2 assessment? This actually explain it. Shows good faith effort. It send a message to clients. We are serious about security. We are already put the right controls in place. That tells you we are very, very serious. We know, oh, at least our SOC 2 is on that way, but this is something that we have. At least client can definitely trust you on that still based on the type of data that you will be, processing and collecting. Let's just look at a typical example. You are a fast-growing SaaS startup about to sign your first major client. They ask for a SOC 2 report. You haven't had your controls running for a long time. So instead of waiting 6 months for a type 2, first, what do? You engage. You see, you are a fast-growing SaaS startup about to sign your first major client. They ask for a SOC 2 report. You haven't had your controls running for long. You just started, that's why I talk about startup. They're asking for your SOC 2 report. You've not had your control that have covered that period of time that will warrant you to have a SOC 2 type 2 report. So rather than waiting for that time to eventually suffice or to get that period, then what are you going to do? You might engage a CPA firm. Then you also complete a SOC 2 type 1 audit, right? You deliver the report so that, the report is delivered such that it aligns with the 5 criteria that we've mentioned. Later, once you've operated the control over time, you then follow up with the type 2 for stronger assurance, right? But with this one, again, depending on the criticality and sensitivity of the data, of course, companies can definitely go with you. That tells you, you know what, I am aware, I'm serious about security. Remember what we discussed in a previous slide. I really like that statement. You know what, we are serious about security. We have already put the right controls in place, okay? Then another thing that we're going to discuss with this, I'm also going to create a new video, is a SOC 2 report good for the future. I want us to understand, especially if you're a working professional, you are doing this, but you really understand why do you have to do it in a future time. We'll definitely discuss that in depth. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and put whatever questions you might have the comment section, and I will see you all in the next session. Bye.